Is it visible, Kunal?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, student. For today's second session of SAP, we have Nagraj sir with us. Nagraj sir, you can proceed with your class, sir.
Okay. So as of now, I just see very less attendees. So
Yeah, sir.
we'll
I
allow
think we
them.
should wait for 5 minutes.
Sure. Okay. Okay. Let's allow some time for them and then we will take it. All right. All right. We will start our discussion, our post-lunch discussion. Now, before we, or rather in the morning session, somebody wanted to uh, One student wanted to have a recap of what is parking, and another person wanted to have a recap of what is a reversal process. Okay, yeah. Let me take you back to the SAP system. Now, let me go about parking. Okay, how do I park a document? I can either take up FB50 or F-02, anything. And now I think you are clear in understanding the difference. Both are the same. You are going to use this option to just enter your journal voucher. But the only thing is the presenting of the fields, presenting of the information in these two screens. That is nothing much. Clear? Now, let me take up FB50 itself. Okay. ₹651. Same amount. We can see I have still not submitted this entry. Enter. All right, you get a message in yellow. GL account is relevant to tax. Still okay. I can bypass this error. Now I will park this. Clear? I will park this. All right, I have parked this. So the ₹651, you will not see this amount affecting the your general ledger accounts. It is just a temporary general ledger. So let me just keep this information 100145. Document 1000145 is parked. All right. Now what I'll do is I will try to post this document. You want me to show the GL accounts also? Okay, I will show that. The ₹651 wouldn't have entered the transactions at all. These two are the general ledger accounts which I have entered in 145 document. So can you see, is there a 145 document out here? You will not see them at all. You will not see that information at all because it is not affecting your financials. Now I'll make a note of the balance also. 19,841 is the balance. Now let me post this and come back. Okay. Now is that okay? Now what I'll do is I will try to enter another document, a wrong document. So what I'll do, I will enter an erroneous document. Let me credit this general ledger account number. Let us say for 801 rupees. See why I'm having this uncommon amounts is just for you to differentiate. So now what have I done? I have credited the expense and I'm going to debit the bank. All right. Now I will post this. I'll post this entry. Now see how the system behaves. One four six was posted. Will you see this document in your accounts? 801 rupees. Yes, you will definitely see this balance. You will see document number 144 and 146, but you don't see that document, the park document for 145. Both the GL account numbers, you can see it is reflecting only your 144 and 146. It is not talking about 145 at all. See here. You can see this 801 rupees, but what happened to that 651 rupees? It is still in the park stage. Yeah. Now I will reverse this document. I can immediately reverse, or after posting so many documents also I can reverse. So what happens if I reverse this document after having posted other documents? It will take up the next number. Now it is 146. Now if I immediately reverse, it'll take up 147 obviously. All right, but if I start posting 146, 147, 148, 148, 149, 150, and if I reverse this document 146, all right, it will reverse it with the document number 151. It will not reverse with the immediately next document. Okay, because all the document numbers, they can be generated only once. They can be generated only once. SAP will not repeat the document number again. It will not repeat the document number. In the financial year, one document number can appear only once. It cannot appear more than once. Clear? Now I will pull out that park document 145 document, park documents. I can post, I can change whatever I want, I can do. So 145 is the only thing. And how do you retrieve the park document? Somebody asked me a very interesting question. How do I retrieve the posted documents? Go to the same option. I don't remember the document number. I have parked so many documents. Let me assume. Now, if I want to generate the document, the parked document list, I don't know the document number. entered by anybody. Yeah, I will execute this entry or execute this program. See, only one document is written because only I am the only person who have reversed this document, who have parked this document. Sorry, I am the only person, and there is only one document which is in the park stage. Are you getting my point? Now I can add. I can add general ledger accounts. I can change general ledger accounts. I can change the amounts. I can change the dates, but I cannot change the document number. 145 remains as 145. I cannot change it. Clear? Now whatever changes I want to make, I can change the general ledger account numbers. I can change the amount. I can change the dates. I can add more data. Suppose I have left out some assignment. Okay, or some date I have forgot. I can enter. Like if you want me to enter the text, I can enter the text. Whatever. All these fields can be added, but the document number is irreversible. Now I want to post. See, document number is posted with the same 145. The document number will not change. Now, if you want to see the 651 rupees, you can see this. Scroll down, scroll down. Can you see this 145 now? 651 rupees. 651 rupees credit, bank account, debit expense, debit your postage account. Can you see this 651 rupees out here? Now we have understood the process of how to park a document, how to retrieve a park document. If at all you want to make some changes, you would definitely can make changes to the park document and then convert the park document into a posted document. So that process we have known now. Now I want to reverse this document 146 because I know it is wrong. I have credited the expense account and debited the bank account. So I want to reverse this document 146. Now I want to reverse document reverse. How many documents should I have to reverse? Only one. As of now, I have identified only one erroneous document which I want to reverse. So I'll pick up that document 146 reversal reason. As I said, it is a star. The field is a star. What does it mean? It is a required entry. Reversal in the current period. Now I can display this document. If you want to display this 146 and ensure that you are reversing the correct document. So test postage account I have credited and bank account I have debited. So this is the document which I want to reverse. Perfect. Now I'll reverse. I will simply post. See now SAP is creating another document number 147 because my immediate after the reversal, after the wrong entry, I immediately reversed it. So that is the reason as to why SAP has generated the next number. Was this process clear? Now, if you want to see this document 147, or you want to see the GL accounts, now you can see all 145, 146, 147. See, 801 rupees debit, 801 rupees credit. This is as far as your bank account is concerned. If you want to see the postage account, 147 debit, 801 rupees is debit. Clear? So now we know the process of reversing as well as parking. Was this clear? Somebody had asked me a question in the morning. How a liability is reversed like any other normal process. Like any other normal process, what kind of questions will be asked for the assessment? All I can tell you is there'll be multiple choice questions. They won't be complex questions, simple questions. You'll be having multiple choice wherein you'll have to select the options. Okay. So did you get the answer how a liability is reversed? Thank you, Kunal. To reverse a liability, you essentially reverse the document which.
Thank you, sir.
All right. I didn't understand this question. Can we write narration in SAP? Yeah, you can. You have the text field, right? You have the text field in SAP. You have the text field in SAP where you can enter your narration. All right. Where do you see the text field? Here is your text field. The text field you can enter your narration. Okay. What is a Trion option? Somebody asked me what is this Trion? Click on it. You will see. It will display some additional details. That's okay. Somebody was asking me how I had created some NAG 123 or something. See this also. I'll retrieve this. Okay, and I can edit, okay, more. I can display. Test postage account 801 rupees. Did I hold it? I don't know. What was the document? When did I post it? Today. Oh my God. That was a reversal, right? Okay, not to worry. So you saw the tree on option also. It displays some additional information. That's it. All right. Okay, let me say no. So any other questions? What is the impact of reverse document? How do I answer this question? So normally, even in your non-SAP scenario, why do you reverse an entry? Because there is something erroneous. So what is the impact? You're rectifying the entry. As simple as that. That's it. But in SAP, a little more, uh, little more care is taken as far as the reversal process is concerned. Okay, so you have our moderator replying to your question. A reverse document in SAP cancels the financial impact. All right. Oh yes, you can make the reversal entry even after so many months. Yeah, you can do. You're most welcome. Suppose you're in a position to identify the erroneous document, you can pick it up at any moment and post. You can reverse it. Not a problem. All right. But as you can see, our moderator, she has replied, as long as the period is open and the business rules and you have the approvals. All right. So as long as you have the right approvals and the right authorizations to carry out this entries, you're most welcome to reverse any entry at any moment. Not only if you have the erroneous document today, it doesn't mean to say that you need to reverse the document today. No, not like that. I hope that question was answered perfectly well. All right, now somebody was asking, just hold on. Somebody asked me a question in the morning as to what is the difference between your FBL3N and your FAGL L03. Am I right? Somebody asked me a question. I had marked it also. FAGL L03. All right. Normally, you have this particular transaction code. Can you see this FAGL L03? Now I will take you to the line item display. It is for the same purpose. You need to see the balance of a document. Or rather a GL account. Sorry. You want to see the balances of a specific general ledger account. This was the one what I was using, FBL3N. So you are very well aware of this. So you can also take up the parked documents during your account display. Yeah. Now you saw the screen. I will just allow the screen for a couple of seconds. Just mentally make note of this, because I will take you to this other transaction code FAGL-L03 and tell you the difference. All right, I will go to the other transaction code FAGL-L03. So it says new in the bracket. Correct. Now, whenever you are following the ledger concept, you know what a ledger is, right? Okay, it is the same screen. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Can you see it is asking for the ledger? In which specific ledger you want to see the general ledger account? Now, as I said, all the entries, all the financial transactions, they are impacting your leading ledger 0L. Correct? Now, if at all you have posted a entry into your US GAAP ledger, or maybe say IFRS GAAP, IFRS ledger. So how do you see these general ledger accounts which you have used to affect the transactions pertaining to the business of the US or of Europe? They are specific to only those two businesses. They are specific to only those two geographical locations, and only those two non-leading ledgers. So in case you want to mention, you want to take the balances of these general ledger accounts. Let me assume one general ledger account, these general ledger accounts which I'm using, they are specific to the US GAAP. Can you see this choose ledger? So in the FBL3 option, you never had this. You never had the option to choose the ledger. Now you can choose the ledger. Clear? I can pick up the ledger. In whichever ledger I want this GL accounts to be reflected, I can do. Have I answered that question? In the morning, this was asked. So I feel that question, that open question was also resolved now. That was an open query. Now that also is being done. Understood? What does FAGL L03? What is the difference between these two transactions, FBL3 and your FAGL L03? All right. Good. Now just hold on for a couple of minutes. Now in the morning, somebody asked me a very interesting question. Where did I write that question? And I made a note of that question. How to customize field data? Very, very interesting question. Now, did everybody understand this question? What does this question mean? Even before I answer this question, what does this question mean? Now, I'll go back to the general ledger entry. So what do I do here? I simply enter the journal voucher. I am paying 500 rupees to some stationery. I bought some 20 books and something. So I'm paying 500 rupees from my petty cash to this particular transaction. I'm entering it here. Now, if at all I had made the system behave in such a way that even for this simple journal voucher entry, suppose it asks me for the bank account number. Do you think it's a, suppose it asks me for some sales order number. Let me pick it up like this. It asks me for a sales order. Do you think that this particular information is relevant to this transaction? Not at all. Suppose if I had erroneously made this information as a wanted entry, required entry, would you be irritated or not? I'm entering a simple journal voucher. Why should it ask me for a sales order? Why should it ask me something called as an order? Why should it ask me for, say, something called as a trading partner? Why should the system ask me about all the unwanted data? Planned. So now, how will the system behave? How can I set the system? Now, at the same point, I want to make the text field as a relevant field, mandatory. So one thing is, if the system prompts me to enter the sales order, it is irritating. But now somebody asked me something, right? What about the explanation? How do you give the explanation to a entry? You're debiting and crediting one GL account to another GL account. And normally in your narration, what would you write? Being the expenses, being the stationery expenses, 200 rupees or 500 rupees. I want the text field to be mandatory. Now, in this concept, customize the field data. Okay. Each information, what you saw, the text, the sales order, the plan, they are referred to as fields. I think you should be aware of this now. Even your document date is a field, your posting date is a field. So similarly, your assignment, your value date, your text, whatever you are seeing the information along the breadth of the screen, the fields can be made based on the requirements. The fields can be made to behave as a mandatory field. any field can stop the user to enter the required information. Okay. Or you can totally stop the suppress that information from the end user. The end user will not even see this because the field itself is suppressed. Or you can simply have a field just to display some data. You can just have a field which displays some data. That's it. You can also make the field as option. So normally this is SAP default. All the fields are optional. It is by default, SAP default. Now it is up to my business scenario how I want to make use of these fields. How should the fields behave? This is through a concept called as field status variant. Here again, each company code must be assigned. You need to create your own field status variant. So let me refresh the variant principle. You create, you populate, you assign. Basically, these steps are applicable even to the field status variant. Fiscal what were the earlier variants we saw? Fiscal year variant, posting period variant. Now this is the third variant what we are seeing, field status variant. Typical to the finance consultant. All right. Now, so how does the consultant control the appearance or the non-appearance of any specific information during the transactions? All right. This is through your field status variant. You can completely suppress the field so that it will not even appear to the user. You can just display that information, but you cannot enter anything. Display is just display. The field is displayed to you. You cannot enter any data. Third one is make that information as a required information for the transaction. Yeah. Or keep everything optional. If the user wants to enter data, he can enter. If the user doesn't want to enter any information, fine, fair enough. He will not be forced to enter the data. So such arrangement is your optional arrangement. And this is SAP default. See what did I mean by SAP default? See, I entered so many documents 141, 142, 143, correct? Did SAP stop me because I had to enter a field? No. So by default, SAP has made all the fields except for some data. Your document date is mandatory. You need to enter. Your posting date is mandatory. Your company code is mandatory. Your currency is mandatory. So except for some header information, see, as I said, it is only the transactional information. Clear? Did you understand the difference? And did you understand how you can control the fields in SAP? This is another interesting concept here, which is a part of your part of the work of a financial consultant. Nobody else is responsible for setting these things. Clear? Take 2 minutes to digest this information. Clear? Interesting information. You agree? I'll give you 2 minutes. Just think over it and come back to me with questions. All right. Can we classify into national and international? At least I have not come across this particular. I have not come across this national and international COA. Can you be more specific in this? I'm not very clear about the question. So please. Okay, definitely I'll explain. Field status. I'll definitely explain. Not a problem. Please clarify your question. Then we will see. Where do we see country chart of accounts? Okay. Where do you see country chart of accounts? Okay, I'll start from this and I'll come back to your field status a little late. Okay. Where do you see country chart of accounts? Wonderful. Okay. Where do you see country chart of accounts? Good. Just hold on. Looks like I need to log into the SAP system. Just hold on. So your question was, where do you see the country chart of accounts? Okay. Okay. To show this, I'll have to go to the consultant screen. As I said, this on the screen, I won't concentrate much. All right. I'll simply show you the place where you can see the country chart of accounts. I'm going to keep silent on this particular path. Can you see this country chart of accounts? This is where you can see the country chart of accounts. Where this is being created, let's not get into it. Okay. You're okay with this country chart of accounts? And as I said, they are not mandatory at all. They are not even mandatory. Okay. And if you ask me in how many projects have you used the country chart of accounts, I may not be in a position to tell you even one, because I faintly remember having used any country chart of accounts. All right. Because it is not, it is not required. It is not mandate. Your country chart of accounts is not mandate. Clear? Now, what was the other question? Was there any question? Please explain, please. Okay, where do you see the country chart of accounts? I hope you're clear. Okay. Do we have to post documents? Obviously, yes. See, why only posting it? Or you need to follow the Indian accounting standards, no? See, posting and all, you'll have to follow the rules. Obviously, you'll have to follow the accounting standards for whichever ledger you are posting. If you are practicing or if you are having your business in India, yes, you need to use the, you need to follow the Indian accounting standards. All right. Yes. Perfect. Yeah. In conglomerates, you use the group chart of accounts. Yes. Perfect. Now, what is this suppress? Now, I'll go back to my end user screen. I want to do a simple document entry. Now, to enter the journal vouchers, I want to suppress this field assignment. I do not want this assignment field to appear while doing the data entry. This is called as suppressing a field. So by default, I said all the fields are optional. It is up to the user to enter data or not to enter data, and it is left to him. But suppose I want to suppress. I do not want to see this field at all in my FB50. I do not want to see this field at all. How do I do it? Now, I don't know if I can show you the place. Okay. Did you understand what is a suppress field? I simply do not want a field to appear. During transactions, I do not want this field to appear at all, this information to appear at all. So this is what is called as your suppressing. Clear? Where you suppress, just hold on. That is a consultant's job. Clear? He will understand the requirement of the business and accordingly keep the fields in the desired form. Whether to suppress, whether to make this field as mandatory, whether to make this field as a display only, or whether to keep this field as optional. Was this clear? Was this what you wanted to know regarding the suppress field? Yeah, you can change. Yes, you can change the currency rate. You can. Where exactly you would want you want to change this currency rate? It is a job of a consultant. Okay. He goes to the transaction code OB08 and here he sets up the translation rates. €1 is equal to one USD, one euro is equal to these many USDs, €1 is equal to. So if you want to convert this into an INR, see here he says $1 is equal to 70 INR. So this is where the consultant sets up the currency rates. Clear? Exchange rates. Was this question answered? Perfect. Any other questions? I'll give you 2 more minutes. I hope the concept of suppress field and all other things were also clear. Yeah, you can. You can ask the consultant to change the fields. What do you mean by change? You mean to say add or add new fields or what? Or is it just to change the status from suppress to required to display to something? Or is it that or you want to add new fields? Yes, changing the status that is from required to optional to suppress to something, it is done by the consultant. But if at all you want to have new fields added to your data entry, we need to approach the technical consultants. Clear? Was this answer clear? Yeah. So this change can be done by the consultant. Depends on what you mean by change some fields. All right. It has a very broad meaning, change the fields. It is actually the end user who requests. Obviously, he will be a he will be an employee of a company. Yes. Of course, he should be an employee of a company. Okay. Kunal, shall we have a small break for 10 minutes?
Sure, sir. 10 to 15 minutes we can take.
Okay. So students will assemble by around 3:10. All right. Just think over whatever has happened. Come back to me with questions. Uh, the currency rate is set by the consultant on a day-to-day basis. Not, not really, not really, because it depends on how frequently you are trying to do a foreign currency transaction. Suppose it is every 3 months you do one transaction. So I need not have to update my exchange rate table on a day-to-day basis. But if my transactions is very, very frequent, if my foreign currency transactions is very, very frequent, that is I import or export. Okay. So on a very regular basis, then I will set a time. Maybe I'll update this exchange rate every week. Okay. So it all depends. And if at all there is a scenario where you're you want to have an update on a day-to-day basis, what you do is we have a different methodology where we automate this table. The table which you saw, the exchange rate, it gets automated and it gets connected through a, it gets up, the data gets updated through a, what should I say? Through a search engine. Okay, you relate this, maybe say this link wherever it is, wherever it is updating, you update it through your to your table and it updates the rates on a required basis, whether it's a day-to-day basis or. But if at all it's not very frequent, you allow your concerned person to update this, maybe say every month, every 3 months, every week. It all depends. Yeah. How to do parallel accounting? We had the concept of leading and non-leading ledgers. That is how you carry out parallel accounting. What is parallel accounting? You are carrying out a business in different countries and simultaneously you want the entries to get into the accounting books. So what did I say? Whether you like, whether you are interested or not interested, all the entries are going into your 0L. What is 0L? Leading ledger. Now, if at all you have some entries exclusive to a typical or a specific geographical location, then if at all you want to affect that entry only in that ledger, you have a concept called as parallel ledgers in SAP, where you have one leading ledger and n number of non-leading ledgers based on your requirement. So this is how you have your parallel accounting. Yeah. Did I answer this question? So I assume that I have answered this question. Let me make this point in the Excel sheet. Parallel accounting is through leading and non-leading ledger concept in SAP. Clear? Is achieved through leading and non-leading ledger concept in SAP. All right, clear? Now, how is the subject going on, students? Liking it? Lot of concepts, interesting. Enjoying the sessions? New things to learn every day? You agree? All right. So let me know if. Thank you. Thank you. More and more complex also. A lot of things to remember, a lot of things to do. Yeah. Yeah, it's even more interesting when you look at the areas like your costing, your management accounting. Very interesting. All right. I'll be just touching upon the surface of it because that itself is very huge. All right. Very concept driven. All right. So yes, any other thing you wanted to know? Now, how is this field? How is this actually controlled? How is this controlled by the consultant? Just because of the academic interest, I'm taking you to the screen, but really not required. Okay. But since you people seem to be interested, I will take you to the place. Oh, I need to relog in. Just hold on, people. So we were looking at how the consultant sets up the controls for the field, transactional fields. As I said, when I come down to the screen, I'll not be very slow. I will just see to it that you know things, but without, what should I say? Because this is not the work, this is not what is expected at this moment from you people. Okay. So financial accounting, global settings, ledger. Do you see fields? Fields, field status variants, define, assign. So you must be very sure that you assign your company code to your field status variant. So let me see GM01. So GM01 is assigned to a field status variant denoted by the same name. Now, guys, you should understand. Normally, we have the naming conventions very similar. We have a uniform naming convention so that we do not have to remember too many things. So as you saw, GM01 is a company code. GM00 is our chart of accounts. GM01 is our field status variable. Yeah, you saw the uniformity. So we have not deviated anywhere. All right. Now let us see within GM01, how do we control? Define. So you can read the document. Such a huge explanation. Okay. So you can read them in your free time. Required entry, hidden or suppressed. Okay. So how do you do all this? Define. Why is it taking so much time? Hold on. Yeah. So I'll go to my GM01. So you have GM01. Select this. Go to your field status groups. And in that, go to. Now you see. Suppress required entry optional. Did you see this? See, text is a required entry. I can suppress this or I can make it an option. Clear? I can keep it as optional. So this is how I change the structure of the how the field should behave. Clear? Did you understand? This is a place where the consultant comes and changes the settings. Was this clear? Understood? So I see no new questions. All right. So we were trying to check where the consultant does the following settings. So we saw that place also. The ledgers and the non-leading and the leading ledgers. You see it here. I think we have already seen this, right? Define ledgers, 0L. We have already seen this. See? As you can see, there is only one leading ledger. You have only one leading ledger per client. All right. And normally uh, we don't deviate from the standard. 0L is a standard leading ledger in any of the projects. Okay, so that is about the ledgers. So let me go back to the easy access. Anything else which I missed? Okay, let me open up the course content so that I'll find something new to explain. Tomorrow we are going to start out with AR and AP on the system. On the practical SAP system, you will see the vendors and customers. All right. I think we had stopped at the 500th slide, I think. Let me just check. So students, people who have received this, please start reading. Very interesting. So please try to squeeze in some time and read it, because once you start postponing your questions, you may forget the questions itself. I think we had stopped at page number 500, slide number 500. Periodic. Oh, we were about to start with the bank master data, right? Okay, your bank master data is nothing but your house banks. All right. Now, this is typically the job of a consultant, creating the house banks. You know what is a house bank now, right? Because we have already spoken about it when we spoke about the automatic payment program. So creation of the banks were the mandatory activity for a consultant even before we started on your automatic payment program. Clear? Now, where do you see these house banks? Again, I'll go back to the consultant screen. You actually don't have to know this, but still we have already got into. So bank accounts, define house banks. You can read the documentation about the house banks. Okay. Define house banks. So I think I have defined some ICICI Bank or something. Yeah, I have defined something called as an ICICI Bank. Okay. So this is how I as a consultant, I would have defined the house bank. ICICI. I'm assuming that my GM01 is conducting its business through the ICICI Bank. A house bank is a virtual representation of a physical bank account. As you're having a bank account for your business or for your savings bank, you have the same concept in SAP defined as a house bank. Clear? You can read them. You don't have to understand, as I said, a word by word or a letter by letter. Not really required. Bank directories. But you should know what is an account type, because my business can have only one ICICI Bank, but I can have n number of accounts in there. How? I can make the salary payments through one account. I can have another entity in the same bank for making payment to the vendors. I can have a same entity. I can have the same ICICI Bank to receive money from my customers. So that is identified by different account ID. So this concept is called as your account IDs. All right. So when I get to that particular word, I will tell you about it. Okay. So please read them. You don't have to understand them in detail. All right. opening a bank account, manage bank accounts. I think it is self-explanatory. Please read them. So these are all the data which our house bank also will have. All right, the house bank will also have the bank location, the bank account number, what kind of an account is it, why is it being operated. All this information it will have, right? All right. So all your self-reading, okay? If you know what is a house bank, more than enough. Yeah, I saw a very interesting something called as a workflow. I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you. Not relating to the bank, but as a process. Okay. So we just saw how the house bank looks, right? Did we see that? Of course we saw that. See, this is your details about the bank and how you are connecting it through your GL account, bank accounts. I think I need to reload it. Okay. Just hold on, students. So this is your bank master data and how you are asking the SAP to system the relevant general ledger account. Whenever an operation takes place in this particular house bank, can you see this is a general ledger account? So this is the bank account number. Whenever you open a savings bank, you're given an account number, right? Something very similar. It is for which kind of an account? Current account. Account ID, current account. So account ID, salaries. Account ID, receipts. So for the same bank, I can have different uses. Can you see? This is the details and this is how your consultant or this is how the consultant creates the house bank. This is the first step for your automatic payment program. All right. Now, what else did we see in the content? Display house banks. Okay, same thing. So you have the lesson summary. That is the only bank master data which you manage. Okay. You have your house bank, you have your general ledger account. That's so you have the video also, reach okay. Just spend some time reading or going through the slides, analyzing and reporting the financial data, parallel accounting. So we know the parallel accounting and we also know what is external accounting. Clear? So all you need to do is just go through these slides. Now it is management accounting. Just hold on. So you have 28 slides just for your questions. So once you read this module, just try to I'm just going back so that see there is a question on the fiscal year variant contains the definition for the posting periods and the special period. So what should be the answer? Is this what contains the fiscal year? Does the fiscal year contain this? Let me mark it as false. I know the answer is false. Why is it wrong? So go back to the topic and read again. The fiscal year variant contains a definition for the posting periods and this period. How does it contain for the special period? All right. So this is how you test your knowledge. Yeah. I'm not very sure about this. Because you never even talk about the special period. No, no problem. Anyway, we are just allowing it to. Account posting key allows posting to just one account type. True or false? It can only be for a GL account or for a material or for an asset or for something else, right? It cannot be for two. Your 40 debit posting key cannot be for assets as well as for your general ledger accounts. That's what the question means. Please be very, very careful about reading the questions. Your assessment can be very as simple as this. Your assessment questions can be as simple as this. You just read them through. I'm just going back just to if there is any concept. See this unit provided. Oh, where am I? I'm on page number 49. My God. So we have finished with the bank also. Supplier balance confirmations. We have all seen that. We are going to see that tomorrow, right? So we had cleared Asset accounting, don't worry. I will be doing it the next week. So we have known about the bank also now. As I said, closing and deleting. There is no concept of deletion. Okay, another interesting scenario. General ledger overview. Now, in one of the topics, I said, I remember having it marked in my Excel. A GL account. Let me take you to that place. No, it was before this. Just hold on, students. I may had made a statement. If please read this. For a GL account to be used in SAP, it must exist in both the chart of accounts level and at the company code level. Now I will take you into the master data of a GL account. How do you see a GL account? We saw the chart of accounts. We now saw the bank. Tomorrow we are going to see the vendors and the customers. And the next week we'll see the assets along with the management account. Clear? Just hold on. To give you more clarity or more insight into this, what do I mean by the statement? Let me show you the general ledger account master data. First place, let me show you the master data. So now you have the master data to be viewed at the chart of accounts level, at the company code level, and at both the levels centrally. This is the bread and butter transaction code for a finance consultant. Now, what does this mean? Now, centrally means I said you are controlling the behavior of the general ledger account at both levels, at the master level, your chart of accounts level, and at the company code level. Okay. Now I will display one GL account. Takes me into a screen. And this is how a person who has the access, even the super user or the power user or whoever it is, whoever has the access. Of course, the consultant will definitely have the access. Anybody else other than the consultant having the authorization to create general ledger accounts. This transaction code is for you to create a general ledger. Clear? Now let us say 113,100. Okay, this is a bank account. Now can you see the tabs? I see the tabs: type, control, create bank interest, information. See, information at the chart of accounts level, information at the company code level. Because I have opened the general ledger account at both the levels. Okay. Come down. In the control data, what do you see? Currency. All right. You have so many other features. And believe me, students, if at all you want to master the finance module, my mentor used to always say that if you know this particular transaction code, you are a master. Because such is the content and such is the understanding of just and only this particular transaction. That is it. As a consultant, if you have a good hold on this, you are very good in SAP Finance. Now you see, we said reconciliation accounts. Today, I think Mr. Kunal also said that you cannot post those reconciliation account automatically. In one of the questions, I saw that answer. What do you mean? How do you restrict that? You have this post automatically. So this is just a simple general ledger account. If I take a, let us say, a recon account. Or let us say 1,000. This is an asset account. This has to be okay. Not a problem. Okay. Do I have any other reconciliation account? So once I set up as a recon account for type, you can see this is a vendor. And if I take up any other general ledger account, take for example, the bank account, which I opened, this will not have any reference to the recon account. So as I said, you can have reconciliation account for your assets, customers, and vendors. But in your question, in your assessment, if at all you have been asked, the reconciliation account can be for these four. You'll have to tick all the four. Yeah, and you will have to include contract accounts also. Yeah. Okay. So this is a simple bank account. It is not any reconciliation account. But what now if I take a reconciliation account? This is a recon account because I know what I have built in my chart of accounts. So that's why I remember. This general ledger accounts is for your sundry debtors, which I have described as a reconciliation account for account type customers. That means you can never use this general ledger account for directly posting. Directly posting in the sense, just like I use that postage account, just like I use the bank account, sample bank account, you cannot use this. SAP will refuse. SAP will not accept. I will show you that. Okay. Now, if I go, see, I created this. See, I said SAP, it keeps track of all the changes, all the creations, all the work done by a specific person. You can also see something called as a change documents. So whatever changes, you can click here, you can understand or you can know who has changed what. The information comes up immediately. What are the fields that person has changed? What was the earlier content? What is the new content? everything you will do. Clear? Now, see here, there is a lock and a delete button. See, it doesn't say deletion. It says mark for deletion. As I said, you can never physically delete any data from your SAP. Are you slowly able to understand how the system is designed? Okay. So I can always block. See? I can always block the account. I can always block this general ledger account at the chart of accounts level, as well as at the company code level. Clear? So this is how you control the behavior of the GL account. And the powers are only with some very critical people. Not everybody can get into this transaction again. All right. Now again, another interesting typical project scenario. I am a super user, or maybe say, let me say I'm a consultant. I'm a support consultant. I get a request to create a new general ledger account. All right. Do I immediately go and create? No. The reason being, there is all the master data is controlled by a specific team called as the MDM, Master Data Management Team. So that team scrutinizes the request. Just because I have got a request for creation of a general ledger account or a cost center or a profit center, I cannot immediately go and do it. No, it will not allow me. Or rather, I should not be doing it. All right. So my MDM team, this request flows to the management, to the master data management team, gets approved from there, and then comes back to me whether to create or not to create. Why not to create? Because you see, suppose I get a request to add a general ledger account. How big is my chart of accounts? It contains 7,000 plus general ledger accounts. So one user department has asked me to create a new general ledger account. Now, does the person in the user department know how many GL accounts are there? How many GL accounts are really used or not used? So can I entertain the request just like that? No, I send this request to the master data management team. They understand the requirement and they say yes or no to the request. They can give me an alternative GL account to be used, which is already there in the chart of accounts. Did you understand the scenario? So I can actually block this GL account for posting in my company code. In this company code, I can actually block. So this is how I control the behavior of the general ledger accounts. Clear? Was it interesting? So this is at the now you saw the data into these many tabs. Type, description, control data, create bank interest, create information, chart of accounts, information, COD, company code. If you go to the chart of accounts segment of the same general ledger account, can you see all the tabs? No, you cannot see all the tabs. You can see only type description, keyword, and the information. Because the remaining information tabs, they belong to the company code. Now, if I block this here, see, I don't see the company code data at all because I'm viewing this at the at the chart of accounts level. So obviously, I will not be having the authority to block the or see the company code data at all. But I'm seeing the same general ledger account. Can you see that? Now I go to the company code level information of the same general ledger account. Again, you see 3 different tabs. So any general ledger account is broken up into your chart of accounts level of information and your company code level of information. Now, if I want to delete or block, I have no options to block at the chart of accounts level because that level of information is not at all there. I can only play around with this. I cannot even touch. See, this is not even allowing me to click on the box because I'm in the company code data level of the GL. Clear? Do not worry. If you want me to explain this tomorrow again, I will do it. It should not be a problem at all. But how was the topic? Was this interesting? Something new which you have learned? Okay, I understood your question. We will deal with this tomorrow. Okay. If at all the customer is also a vendor or a vendor himself is also a customer, how does the system deal with it? Was that your question? Yes, I will definitely take it up tomorrow. Clear? But till now, about the GL accounts, was there something new for you to learn? Conceptual. I'm not asking you to do things on the system. You will not be allowed to do anything on the system at all, especially these sensitive transactions. I definitely hope that things were interesting. Clear and interesting. Very good. How we get SAP module to get preparation for the SAP examination? What examination are you asking? Assessment or for the certification? For the certification, if at all you want me to answer from the certification perspective, that is a different way of approach itself. You'll be having a different set of material. Yeah. I was also a part of this certification training just to add information, more information about assessment. You don't have to worry. Assessment, nothing. You just saw those questions, right? I showed you those objective questions. So those are the questions. Okay. If you are okay with that, I think you can clear the assessment. All right. Not to worry about the assessment. I hope all of you had an enjoyable session today. Something new to learn. Right. So we will meet up tomorrow morning again by 11 a.m. Kunal, can we wind up the session?
Sure, sir. Thank you, students. Tomorrow again we will meet you at 11 o'clock sharp.
Bye bye. Thank you.